From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher, and their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher, and our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuk. Their mission: to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training podcast. We have a post-race-ish weekend with two gladiators who apparently fought the fight, but I'm not sure they won. Who else is here?
I'm Vicki.
I'm Audra.
You are? Ladies. Welcome.
You know what? We're ready to race.
I know.
We are ready to race.
Welcome to the official race licensed population of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So exciting.
So when last we spoke with Miss Elizabeth, who could not make it tonight, but she cheered you on from a very close distance. Of some of the videos, I think she was right next to Miss Vicki.
Yeah.
We came up with a plan that changed Vicki's entire summer, and you guys went to Thompson together.
We did. It was pretty freaking awesome to be racing with girls. We were commenting how nice it is to race with girls. You know what? There's a different dynamic that takes place. There just is. And it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I got an opportunity to do that.
That was so great that you get to be there. I think the three of us, like, going back and forth and, just doing the whole thing together. That was a brutal school.
It was
That was an
brutal.
exhausting day. But it was just so fun because you guys were there.
Right. And I think it was designed to be brutal. I think it was designed to be that intense to kind of rattle you.
Mm.
That's my feeling.
Yeah, they didn't know who they were dealing with, though.
No, they didn't.
We're too dumb to quit. So let's go over a little bit of the foundation. Audra, you were in what car?
My Specky 30.
Ooh. Miss Vicki, you were in?
I was in my my Spec Miata ND, my new one.
It's NB, but okay.
NB, sorry.
That's okay.
Yes.
And neither one of you have escaped Zombieland since the event, because I can tell by looking at the two of you.
I don't know if it was the back-to-back from one race and then going right into the other, or just trying to come off one race and then prep to go to another, and just the intensity of it. Oh my gosh. I thought it was just me. Like, I thought it was me being old, but apparently not so much.
Well, we did Lemons.
We did.
And for me, I got home from Lemons. It was 3:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday morning that I got home, and then I had to get up and go to work because I didn't take the day off because that would have been an intelligent thing to do.
And drool through the day, didn't you?
Past Audra is screwed. Future Audra there, I think.
So I kind of felt alive on, like, a little bit on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thursday I had to drop off my dog, go pick up my trailer, take the trailer an hour to go pick up my car, picked up the car, and then drove an hour and a half to go drop the trailer and the car at Thompson. Then we had the class till 8:30. I got home, it was a little bit after 9. We had to be back there for 7 o'clock in the morning. And then we had the school that that was a really intense day.
It was really intense. It was, yeah. So that's the same, basically everything she was describing to me, minus the 3 a.m. I just kind of felt that as
your commute to Thompson was a little longer than hers, so you made up for it on the back end.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about just coming off the race. Yeah, because as we discussed before, I mean, pit race, it takes a while just to get ready for your first race of the year. of the season, and getting there is brutal in itself. But coming off, I think I barely unloaded that week. Wednesday started feeling semi-normal, and then had to start again.
I believe you should rephrase that. I barely unloaded for you that week.
Yeah. Well, I was really trying. I was really trying, and um, I, much like
Pooped
on the
out.
drive. Yeah, much like on the drive is, as long as I'm still going forward, I might not be going fast, but I'm still going forward. That's my mentality through the week, and yeah, I'm glad it wasn't just me. Man, it's even coming off of this race. I was just discussing with Audra that my hands hurt. She was mentioning that her hands hurt. I'm like, mine really hurt too. And I thought it was just because not only was it as intense anyway, but then I had like this really long drive home where I had to, still grab a steering wheel on those same spots. And yeah, I didn't get until like 11 o'clock, I think, when I got back after dropping off the trailer
That's
from
a
the
long
race.
day. And that was an intense school.
Yeah.
And we were either in the classroom or in the car.
Mhm.
And I don't know. So what was it, Thursday night that they said to us, if you don't have a pit crew, you're screwed. And none of us did.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of us had the offer.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you know
we
what?
got lucky. We had some folks show up and help us out, but
Yeah, they were kind of with friends. They were with friends there, or and they just, I remember Tom was his name. Tom, he just kind of
yeah.
walked up to me and he's like, "Oh yeah." And then Bill from your team was there.
Yep.
And
So Tom Samuelson, who
yeah,
does a lot with the Specky 30s, he's amazing. He
yeah,
helped for us, and then Bill Aubin from my team, he uh,
yeah,
he also helped us out a lot. Without the two of them, we really would have had a much more difficult day.
yeah. It wasn't terrible, but when he did come up to me, Tom did come up and said, "Do you have a crew with you?" And I said, "No, I don't," and it's fine. He goes, "Well, what can I do to help you?" I'm like, "Oh, I was trying to get around to just checking my tire pressure and just my lug nuts, tightening my tires down, and but yeah, they didn't give you a breath. They really didn't give you a breath. Like I said, I think it was done that way by design to rattle you a little bit.
No, there's a
You know,
lot to do in one day.
yeah.
Most race schools are 2 days or longer, so
Hmm.
they're shoving it
Yeah,
into one day. So
yeah. I think we had what, 15 minutes for lunch and then a track walk, which was kind of sort of mandatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, so you guys went to SCCA school, race school. Let's go back just a little bit. Uh what was the Thursday part?
You want to go ahead and take this one, Audra?
Sure. Thursday was an introduction, and they gave us a slideshow, which I am desperately trying to find on my desk at the moment. So it was, what did they go through? They went through teach students how to safely and competitively race a race car. That is slide 1. And we learned about communication, on-track etiquette, flags. There was a lot about flags. A lot about flags.
Yeah,
Told us
the
what we
flag,
needed to be successful. They gave us some lingo. So they went through a lot of slides on Thursday.
right. And a
Oh,
lot of it, I would say a lot of it for us was review, but they had 2 additional flags with them that was kind of surprising for me. I think one was the white flag that sometimes they wave at a certain way to indicate last lap. And if you're going to do something, do it now.
yeah.
And then there was one more that I don't remember. I think it involved the black flag. I don't remember.
Oh, the meatball.
No, wasn't a
No, we've
meatball.
we've gotten the meatball many times.
Mm-mm. It was
So what was the other one? The blue with the diagonal yellow stripe.
no, no, no. I don't remember if it was a way they used the black flag or a way they used a yellow flag, but they were existing flags that we already had. That they were just too different. Like everything else I remembered, but those two, they in SCCA they use them in addition to,
Or
and I have to
differently?
remember what. No, yeah, no, they in addition to all the other flags, because they still keep the other flags. I just don't
Yeah.
remember what that last one was. I have to look it up on my chart.
Okay.
But yeah, but I think for honestly, I think for Audra and myself, I think a lot of it was review. A lot of it was review, but with I would say a lot of it was review at full speed. At full speed. Like they weren't joking.
It's a
Oh, don't
race
forget
sport.
the test too. We had to pass in a 5-page test.
Yep. And that
Yeah,
was
so
on
there was
rules and
pre-track
etiquette.
work, right?
Yes.
So you had to get, I believe, a medical, an eye, at least one test. Is there anything else you guys had to do?
I think we just had to they wanted that they had some suggested reading that they wanted us to do, which we didn't have time to do it, but they over the course of us getting our full competition license, but one of Ross Bentley's books is there. And I think there's three or four suggested reading and one's a mandatory read.
Was that the competition rule book?
I think
Yep.
it could be the competition rule book.
Okay.
Yeah, the DCR.
Okay. All right. So you guys had your cars teched. Any issues with teching on Thursday night?
They didn't
I
actually check my car.
No? Did you have your book already?
yeah.
Okay, that was already tech then for a year, I think. At least that's how NASA does it. I haven't done an SCCA yet, although it sounds like Vicki and I need to do 5 of these puppies really fast.
So I didn't have any issues with the car. I had issues fitting in my car. So I was kind of scrambling a little bit. It's a good thing that we had like a 45 to, I think we almost had like a 45-minute window plus that I started playing with fitting in my car properly. And then I still wasn't fitting in my car properly.
In what way?
Well, so the car came with an insert designed by my sister. No, it was fitted for her, assuming it would fit for me. But I wasn't comfortable where my head was in proximity to the roll bar. It was right next to it, and if I could just move my head sideways and tap it, and I didn't like that at all. So I had asked Audra to bring a seat cushion, but the seat is hard mounted back a little bit, so I kind of fitted it into the curve of the seat. So it kind of pushed me forward a little bit and then pushed me up a little bit. And again, I could make it work. But at least I was away from the roll bar with my helmet, and that was really important. The belts were a little bit loose, but tight enough to get around. So the first opportunity I had was I readjusted all of that. And in that particular instance, I don't think we were really doing too much intense. So by the time that I actually got really into my car, that's when the intensity really kicked it up a notch, and I felt much better. But that was the only issue with the car. They checked my car Thursday night. They kind of went around with a flashlight, and everything was good to go. Actually, the person who teched my car was also a Miata guy and was familiar with Planet Miata, who built the car, and Mark. So he's like, if I had known you were coming, I would have had you pick up a transmission that's sitting over there. And I'm like, if I had known, I would have gotten it for you.
It's not like you weren't there that morning.
I was there that morning. So I think next time I'm just going to send out a general text to all the Miata people. Hey, I'm at Planet Miata. Does anybody need anything? So, but yes, that was how Thursday night went, and that's how the fitting in the car and the day was starting to begin.
Miss Audrey, your car probably didn't have any problems because you have already gone through tech at least once. So, any issues on your end?
No issues at all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Your car ran sweet.
It
car,
really did. I had one small thing happen, but it was really random and weird, and then it didn't do it again, so not really worried about it.
We've driven worse cars than that. Don't worry. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
was great.
So I haven't done SCCA. I did NASA. For NASA, we had classroom on track, classroom on track, classroom on track. I think it was like 8 times. And then the end of the day, we had we actually took part in the Trek race, which is the endurance race. We did the first, let's say, hour, and that was our final practical exam. And then we had a debrief, and then everybody who passed got their attaboys and attagirls, and everybody who didn't pass um, just hung their head in shame, and they got ridiculed and thrown balls at and stuff like that. It was quite fun. We didn't get to throw any balls at anybody. Everybody did quite good. How was SCCA for the single day Friday?
Yeah, so it's very similar. It was, in class on track, in class on track. And then in the afternoon we did rolling starts.
Mm-hmm.
So we did several rolling starts and then we raced. And then we had another session where we did the rolling start and went directly into a race.
Mm-hmm. Did you have like 2 wide, 3 wide, or
2 wide.
2 wide? Okay.
It's Thompson. I don't think we could have done 3 wide.
Oh, you'd be surprised what you can do, Audra. It's so much fun. Just wait till you guys get rolling on this stuff. It'll be great.
well, the, the
Go ahead.
people that the people that were actually in this course were already seasoned drivers.
Mhm.
Whether they were taking HPDEs or however long, but they were definitely all very skilled drivers. And this didn't so much feel like classroom intensity because there was stuff that they reviewed,
Mhm.
but they were reviewing what they saw on track and they were making notes and they were addressing those situations.
So did the instructors go out with you guys or just watch?
They did. They did. They actually they did both. They had instructors at key points all over the track. They had to have been about 7 or 8 of them, I would say, or 7 or 8 spots, I believe, that they were all at. And then they had on track instructors, and they were watching very, very closely, and they would point out what they were seeing, and for you to make adjustments to that. I wouldn't say that as opposed to NASA, where NASA you are leveling up, and there is a lot of learning that's going on. People going into here already know,
You're
and I think that
comparing the HPDE to a
right, this is the school. Although that NASA Great Lakes, I can't say just NASA. I say NASA Great Lakes. NASA Great Lakes does run itself like a racing school, because you do level up and you do get graded and to a certain level
drills.
and drills and everything like that. This, like I said, this one going into here, it's a review of your flags, and basically all these seasoned racers that are running this program in SCCA, they are like, do we feel comfortable racing with you? Do we feel like you know what you are doing? And that's what they are judging you on
That's good.
that kind of level and skill.
So it's a race school should be a confirmation of skills, not a teaching of skills.
Correct. And I think that's what it is. I think they're tweaking you.
Mhm.
And if they do anything extra, like if they were doing anything extra through the weekend, maybe they would be, focusing a little bit of car craft or something like that. But I think this was just a confirmation more so than a school. Would you say that, Audra?
I would think so. I mean, one of the things that we had to do when we first got there was list every single event that we've ever done. And we had to give our resume of, motorsports.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily,
And I
Vicki
think
had an Excel file.
I,
Yeah, I definitely did get the impression that there was nobody there who was really new. Although they did at the end recommend that even though we're now licensed, that it's not a bad idea to do a couple of the CREs, the competition race experiences,
mhm.
because you need So we have our novice license, but we need 3 clean races before we get our full competition license.
Mhm.
And doing the CRE would give you that. Like it would give you one.
I
Okay.
think the CREs is a less committed event
Mhm.
than going in for a full weekend, I think is how it was kind of sort of described to me.
Yeah, I've done the CRE and it's you're basically like mimicking a race, but you're not actually racing.
Yes.
Yes, for insurance reasons, it's called a simulated race start and a simulated race event. Simulated race educational event, I believe, is what they're.
Yeah. So why don't we explain, because I'm still a little bit confused about it. Why don't we explain that out a little bit?
Audra, you want to, or do you want me to go for it?
Oh, what the CRE?
Yeah, because I'm still a little confused on the whole thing.
Jargon's not her strong point.
But no, not only that, but for people that are interested in doing this, they would probably want to know a little bit more about a CRE and what
Sure.
happens after.
Well, I can tell you it's cheaper than a race. It's like $100 or so cheaper than a race. It actually happens at the same time that the race is going on. So they usually have them like there's the race groups and then there's the CRE group. And they have instructors that go out with you. There's some classroom sessions. So there's some training that goes on. There is a test that you have to do, but they go over it. They don't take it and grade it like they did at this school. They just go over it with you at the classroom. So it's kind of like an HPDE where you drive, you go to class, you drive, you go to class.
Mhm.
But you're supposed to be simulating a race environment when you're on the track and actually, showing that you have the skills to actually race.
Okay.
And then
I,
you're graded on your
Mhm.
performance in both.
and I think the thing that a lot of people get hung up on who haven't done this already, a race school does not grade you pass fail on how fast you are. They will grade you on how safe you are and how comfortable they are with you potentially being in a race with them in a true race condition. Obviously, it's better to be a little faster than a lot slower, but they're not going to sit there and say no. You don't. It would be very difficult to say you don't pass because you're too slow. It's going to be because you don't see
Well,
stuff.
so I was actually like it did count against me the first time. It was the first time I had driven my car. It was the first time at a particular track. Um, and I was a lot slower than the pack that was there for the CRE.
Mhm.
And it did count against me. They're like, well,
Mhm.
you weren't with the pack, so you need to do another one.
Right, but that's not. I don't believe that's going to fail you for it. It's just going to be something you need to work on. I haven't taken one, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was an actual fail, but
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
because you don't get passed to get a novice permit. You have to do it again.
Mhm.
Well, it's not the first time I've done anything or said something that wasn't right on this podcast. So we can,
What was that? What was that?
well, I mean,
Ruh, 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 ruh.
yeah. What did they say about bringing a crew? What did they say?
Yeah, I know.
What
I
did they say?
remember that next time.
Oh, yeah, we were
Yeah,
going
Bill
back
was,
and forth.
yeah. Well, also, Bill just come off a very big trip, also.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I just know what happened when I was doing this and my car broke. And you imagine what you guys had to do with the car broke and nobody there. So,
Yeah. If your car broke, you fail.
mhm.
Mhm.
You got to come back.
Yep. But it's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys got through. Life is good. Pass and continue on your merry travels and keep going.
Well, I would say, like, through our whole class, when it hit about 4 o'clock for us, I think we all looked a little wasted.
Mm.
We were pretty tired, but we also found out that after we got a little bit of something to drink, iced tea or caffeine or something, and then we went out twice as a girl pack, and I think we all just felt a little bit more energized because we were with each other and we were racing against each other instead of racing against just the pack. So that was fun.
That was super fun.
Hmm. Yeah, instead of, because before we had to line up with our group, which they assigned one instructor and one other student with you. So we kind of went off that. And I think going around the track when I was with Audra and Elizabeth Jolly, I watched my instructor get yeeted off the course and he went off into the field somewhere. They kind of said, well, there's this car, this Miata, this white Miata, kind of went off. What happened? I'm like, I think that was my instructor. I'm kind of curious myself. But I think after we all paired up as a small pack, we certainly felt better,
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
little
I
bit more
think
energized.
that kind of goes along with my only the only downside for me of the experience was that my instructor, his car blew up before the event, so he didn't have
Ooh,
a car there. So he was never on track with us because he was supposed to be instructing both me and Elizabeth. So he was never on track with us at all. So it was purely getting, the advice from the sidelines and not actually any on-track interaction. So I did have some on-track interaction with some other instructors, but they weren't my instructor,
yeah.
And I think I would have maybe appreciated a little bit more of that, like, one-on-one time.
That's one thing too that I did notice that was actually good about this course was um is that I had another instructor who saw something that he wanted me to work on. So my instructor had moved on, I guess, with the other student, and he jumped in front and he kept tapping the top of his helmet or top, because his car didn't have a top on it. Um, and I'm like, okay. So he was teaching me something that I greatly appreciated. So when stuff that they did notice, they would step in with another student on course and say, come follow me. I want you to do this.
And tapping on the helmet means, just for in case people
Follow me. It means follow me.
follow me, like
Stay,
exactly.
yeah, stay close, follow me. And he was also in a Miata. But I kind of, I really appreciated that. I know that I think my instructor was like, I don't know how many instructing events that he had done, but he was good. Um, I didn't get a lot of feedback, but then again, I might not have needed a lot of feedback.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, yeah, that's why.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, I don't know. But he did. When they did point out a couple things to me, we just did kind of address them as fast as we could,
Yeah,
as best we could. It was so intense. It was so fast paced.
it's called racing. It's not called slowing.
No, it was. I was on my way home. I was envying, Audra. She was like so close. She probably didn't even have to drive her trailer away if she didn't want to. You have to go all the way out and drop it off in Rhode Island.
No, actually, I brought it home with me, so it was the half-hour commute. So
Oh,
that was
good for
not
you.
bad at all. Yeah.
You're so lucky.
No, you had hotel offers.
I did, but I really wanted to be home,
Okay.
so it was good.
So, Miss Vicky, most of the time we're at events, we usually go with NASA. Most of the time, NASA Great Lakes. What
Hmm.
was? Can you compare the two? Because I think some people may have listened to earlier episodes and like
Yeah.
differences, plus minuses.
NASA Great Lakes is an excellent program. I cannot speak enough about this program that they put together because it feels like a proper race school, uh, but in the form of an HPDE. The amount of education that you get out of this, and again, it is, you know, it is classroom track, classroom track. It's more laid back than this SCCA, but like Bill said, they had to fit a lot into one day. And then it's, for Great Lakes, you level up and you have to achieve certain things before you move on to the next. And then when you get to, I believe, the end of second, uh, you start to declare what you want to do, and they start kind of gearing your lessons to that. Whether it's more instructing, you'll get something more rounded. If it's competition, you'll get something more race worthy. Uh, and it's very, very thorough, so great. Um, Going over to SCCA, I believe that you are expected to know these things. Maybe later on they might take I don't know, beyond just a testing form of it, but to get your novice permit. But everybody that was there knew what they needed to do. And I was a little bit confused because I'd never done a pace start. So that was kind of odd to explain when it was being, I think it was the way it was being explained to me, was made it difficult to understand until somebody pulled me aside and said, okay, this is what you need to do. Boom, 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 boom. And I was like, oh, but I got, before I got the half-hour explanation when, I just needed like 3 minutes. So everybody already knew it. They already had their cars race stickered out, and I think some of them would have already been into events because you just tell, or they were elevated through NASA.
SCCA.
Or yeah, no, they were elevated through NASA to get into SCCA. So yeah, I would just say again that I think this getting your novice permit is skipping all the deep learning stuff to get there. It wasn't an HPDE event.
Oh, so
no,
it's the exam.
Yeah, it was more of a testing course and a confirmation that you knew what you were doing. And if you had any questions to iron anything out, it was the gateway to get into SCCA is what it felt like.
So you haven't done, just to make sure everybody's on the same page, you have not done NASA race school. So you're not comparing that to that. You're comparing this to a NASA HPDEs that you've done. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So for as far as I've gotten, like, I think if you start out like an HPDE 1 or an HPDE and you're kind of like mid-level HPDE 2 or something like that, and have never done any races, you would probably not do so great in this. It's not meant for that. It's meant for you to be level 3 and up, and have level 4 out of NASA. But if you are not quite level 4, but if you've been still racing a lot, this is a confirmation of those skills.
But I having done it, I would recommend you do level 4 at least 2 or 3 times before.
Oh yeah, I'm still doing that.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying before you try to do a race school, just for your own skills, especially if it's with Great Lakes, because they have the drills. Because I went all the way straight through Great Lakes, and basically, race school was just, did you pay attention to what you were doing already? Because you've already done all of this, and it prepared you so well. It was race school was actually fairly anticlimactic. Still fun. I mean, I still claim it as something tremendous in my racing career that I was able to do, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I barely made it. It was kind of like, yeah, we've done this already. So
yeah, and NASA too.
Great Lakes.
NASA Great Lakes, for sure. NASA Great Lakes. Their program is amazing with the drills, but they also start teaching you racecraft, not just learning how to drive your car and what it does and then do the drills, stuff like that. They're actually teaching you racecraft and how to properly pass offline and how to bunch your cars up and do a pace start, 2, 3 wide. Or probably, I think they were doing it 2 wide, but I remember seeing it was 3 wide.
Yeah, that was in 3.
But, yeah. And I think that also for Great Lakes, with all those drills and all that car craft, they are certainly desensitizing you to actually doing all these complicated things at speed, so that it just becomes secondary and close. Yeah. But yeah, I would say that once you get through that, then it's like the SCCA. That's what this would be for. Or if you've already been racing and have learned all this stuff through years of knowing.
Miss Audra, what was your feelings overall in the event?
Elizabeth, actually, I wouldn't have gone if it wasn't for Elizabeth. And I think that she was dead on in saying that, it was just a tremendous amount of seat time for the money. And it was definitely, it accelerates you through to get to that novice license, which was really good. particularly for us where we have, all this experience already. It's not like we're new,
Mhm.
you know. I thought it was really worthwhile. And Elizabeth came back, she did it again. She has her full competition license.
Right.
But for the practice, just like it is so worth the money to get that much seat time in one day and that much practice in one day with all of those instructors and with all of that focus on the learning. So I would,
Mhm.
if I had the opportunity, I would do it again, just for that. I thought it was great.
I mean, it's great to, well, granted, we raced the weekend before, so it doesn't really apply, but it's great to break your winter off season and come back with one of those types of events.
Yeah.
Well,
Just-
this was the first time I had driven my car in the dry on slicks.
Mhm.
So I was really, really happy. So there was an element for me too, of just like getting to know my car a bit. It's only
Mhm.
the third time that I've actually had it out. So all the other, is the Lemon's car and other people's Lemon's cars and,
Yep.
yeah, the M2 for HPD. So this was the first time with the Spec E30 to really get to know it in the dry. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was one thing I don't think was taken into account with Vicki is she wasn't out there on slicks. She was out there on, normal or HPD 200 tread wear.
Fresh tires that still had the coating on them. So
Nice.
that was fun. That was really fun on a chilly track. I was telling my instructor, I said, because I kind of got a little sketch. And I told him, I said, lost the back end twice because I still haven't worn my tires down. They still has some paper on them. That's what it felt like.
Did
So,
you see that the Mini that was there? Apparently he had a problem with one of his wheels and he couldn't take his all seasons off. So he did the whole thing on all seasons.
wow. Yeah, I
I
don't
thought
know
that
if,
was pretty impressive because he was right in there. He did really well.
yeah.
I was watching some video.
Everybody did. They actually have them on YouTube. You can watch the videos. I saw your car going around. I saw me, you, and Elizabeth through the one guy's camera.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of entertaining.
Yep. We saw Vicki drive right off the track. It was great.
No, I did not drive off the. Oh well, I bumped. Remember I told you I was coming around and I went a little wide and I hit the right before the rumble strip. There was a little divot in the dirt and I hit that, and you see my car go boom. I was like, oh, they
Oh, I
need to
saw
fill those
that.
holes. Yeah, they need to
Yeah,
fill that hole. Not
it was
good.
a little bump.
Just a bump.
Or don't drive in it. Okay. All right. So for the home game players, Miss Audra, could you kind of go over real quick what your driving racing experience has been, and then looking back from where current Audra is to past Audra, what you think you would have needed to do to be ready for this?
Captain's log supplemental.
Hey, Jeremy, those race cars you're busy building?
Yeah, I do. I
You-
got one that I'm looking at every day.
You know what I don't see you working on?
You don't see me working on the amazing Sentinel system yet.
That's true. It would take all of 10 minutes for you to have one.
And it's very quick and easy to install.
It is. It is. And we could watch you when we are not at the race with you and see how you're doing. And then we can call you up when you get out of the car and tell you everything you did wrong.
And I love that because so many years I've been driving and not been able to see what I'm doing.
I know.
And now we can.
I know. You know what I'd like to do with the video? My most favorite thing is I take the video and I load it on YouTube and then I send it to my coach and say, look at 26 minutes and 17 seconds. Look at this one lap and tell me what I can do better. And every single time, you know what they say?
Everything.
Exactly. Precisely. So with the Sentinel system, you get instantaneous feedback plus useful feedback that unfortunately is accurate for my driving.
I think it's accurate for all of our driving.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's probably true. Yep. But you need to get one in your car, sir.
Yes, I do. And with the discount code that you're going to tell everybody, they can save 10% on this awesome system.
Trouble free. I haven't had an issue getting video every time we've gone out with the Sentinel. It's always worked. Can't say the same for some of the other systems we've tried. So I don't know. It's on the podcast notes down there. Don't do it while you're driving though. We like to have our listeners live. It's good. Miss Audra, could you kind of go over real quick what your driving racing experience has been, and then looking back from where current Audra is to past Audra, what you think you would have needed to do to be ready for this?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Thank you. Thank you
Right?
very much. That's why I get paid the
That's
$0
a
on this
lot.
podcast.
Yeah. Whew, let me unpack that one.
That's right.
Let's see. So I have 18 years of autocross. I just picked up my little handy dandy road race member permit where I had to list it all.
Yeah, don't lose it.
Because welcome to 1922, where you have this paper book, and if you lose it, you're screwed.
You got to start all over again.
All that credit you lost is gone.
Yep.
So, past me to current me, I guess, what I would have wanted before is more of that, the book knowledge that I have now. So everything that I've learned, it's kind of like learning on the job,
Mhm.
You learn on course, you learn from your instructors, but actually sitting down and reading some of this stuff,
Like
there
a
were
Ross
some
Bentley
definite light
book or
bulbs. I was
something.
like, oh, look at that. Yeah. Wish I knew that before. Like it's a different educational experience when you sit down with a book and actually read through the rules of racing and some of the techniques and things that you need to know, rather than just having it as like with instructors, with on-track learning. I thought that was immensely valuable. And I think that, prior Audra would have gained some quicker knowledge by sitting down and doing that.
So past Audra screwed future Audra again. Is that what we're saying?
Now, isn't that always the case?
It seems to be.
Listen, it's the journey.
Oh, I'm not saying anything.
Journey.
Don't get no smiley yet. You're up next. Miss
Yeah.
Vicki, summarize your racing experience here to date, and then what could you have done that would have made past Vicki better than current Vicki? Maybe better, maybe quicker, not quicker, faster, quicker, sooner.
I
So
have
what have you done?
I have 6 years of endurance racing. I have 3 races with Lucky Dog. Most of the other races are with Lemons.
Mhm.
I have probably as many years of on and off HPDEs.
Mhm.
I have 3 skid pad sessions that I've done. And
2 Evo School autocross instructions.
yes, I did 2 of those.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I actually am level 3 with Great Lakes, but I had crossed over to 4 over in NASA
Northeast.
on the East Coast, on the Northeast Coast, because that's mostly track time. On the Northeast is NASA, more track, less education. When over in Great Lakes, it's more education balanced with track.
Mhm.
So I would have to say that's my experience.
And your off-track racing, what have you done off-track racing? Anything?
Not a lot. Not a lot. That's 0.
Mhm.
I know Bill kind of pushes me for the extra education on the side.
Mhm.
He really does.
I try.
He really does. But I end up, I get burnout and I have other interests at the same time. So I like to. I'm not. If I had went in and say, "Hey, I'm going to be a race car driver," I'm just in here for the journey and have a good time. So I think that's the difference between me and Bill.
Okay, so what could past Vicki have done that would have made present Vicki ready either better or sooner? Like looking back, what should you have done instead or in addition?
Well, I mean, if my ultimate goal was to be a race car driver, And that was the big passion, and that was the, the bone at the time to be chewed on till the very end. Probably would have read more, watch car movies, watch all the videos, watch all the car shows, just immerse myself into it.
Mm-hmm.
Would definitely get me there faster.
Okay.
But like I said, I have kids. I enjoy other things. I enjoy just, it is not the primary passion that I have.
Mm-hmm. But next to me. Anyway.
But yeah.
All right. So ladies, the last thing that I was thinking about, I'm sure I'll come up with something else, but the last thing I was thinking about is, what do you think, like if you were Dr. Race school and you put out a curriculum for somebody, what would you say somebody needs to do in order to be ready for this? Like not to pass, not to, but to be ready.
Like if they've never done anything.
Like they are listening to our podcast. This is the first time they've ever said, "Oh, I can actually do this. What should I do?" What would you tell them?
Definitely load up on your HPDEs and level up.
Mm-hmm.
Do sim racing in the wintertime if you have the ability to do that. Read a couple books.
Like,
I'm tossing a CRE or two. I think the CREs were valuable.
Yeah. Yeah. Take on some track events like in the free time that you have. Autocrosses, again, are great for car control. And they're
endurance racing.
cheap. Yeah. Get into some endurance racing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just, putting yourself out there to get into endurance racing. And yeah, I would say that's what I could do. But get yourself into again, I can't speak enough about Great Lakes because it'll teach you everything you need to know.
Mm-hmm. Hope to see everybody at Pit Race in July.
Yeah.
I would say that's what east they go. Yeah.
That's what you would need to do. But again, it's a journey. It's not a mission to do.
It could be.
You just go and you have a good time.
Mm-hmm. Enjoy the ride, not just
right. Enjoy the ride, not just worry about trying to get to the journey, to the end of the path.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Miss Audra? What do you think you would say, like if you had a friend who walked up to you and said, "Wow, I didn't even know I could ever do this"? What would you tell them? What would you think?
That's what I said.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is exactly what I said.
Mm-hmm.
And I stick to the thing. It's a slippery slope, All
right.
Yeah.
So what did we do wrong then, I guess, is the question. I'm sorry. What did we do wrong, Audra?
No, it's great. You just, one thing leads to another.
Mm-hmm.
Try one thing, and that one thing will lead you down a path. Try an HPDE. Maybe that HPDE will lead you to meet some folks who will offer you a seat in their Lemons car.
You never know.
And try that, and then move on from there.
Go. Grab a friend and say, "Hey, I want to go do a skid pad." Go do a skid pad. You might end up in drifting.
Who knows?
Yeah, try something. Try anything. Do them.
Yeah. I think from my side, it would be try as many things as you can. Try to skid pad. Try autocross. Try iRacing. Try endurance racing.
You could end up being a circle track guy.
Who knows? Try whatever you can. The more you can learn to control your car, the better. Like Audra's got extensive autocross history and tremendous car control. And I went out with her in one of her first HPDEs, and it was like, okay, I believe if she was still in HPD1, might have been in HPD2. It doesn't really matter. I tend to drive with everybody. I don't get out of the car on a weekend, which I pay for on Monday, but that's a different story. And it was just like, okay, don't have to teach her that. Okay, don't have to teach her that. Okay, definitely don't have to teach her what the right pedal's for, because she knows what that one's for, and she was in an M2, so we were going pretty good. So it's everything compounds on itself.
There's always something to learn, and
sure,
there's so many things out there that you can do. There's just something for everyone. If you try one thing you don't like autocross, try something else,
Go-karts.
There's so many fun things that you can do.
Mhm.
They're all fun. They're just different. It's like flavors of ice cream,
Mhm.
Just do the Baskin Robbins thing. Find your 57 flavors and plan your season around your favorite flavors and then fill them in. And do as much as you can as long as it's still fun, I guess would be what I would say. And if you're ridiculous, you write into a podcast or you invite another podcaster on and then try to pollute their life and say, hey, Audra, how about we have a ladies team? And then, next thing you know, she's got 54 race cars. She's got a car trailer. She's got a team. She's got merch. She's
She's
got
got
everything.
friends like you wouldn't believe.
That's right. So you never know how this ends up.
Mhm.
Never can tell. It's a
Nope.
slippery slope.
It
It's a
is.
slippery slope.
It is. There should be a team named that, Audra.
I might have seen that somewhere.
Yeah, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's okay. Did we miss anything?
It was a good clinic. I would recommend it.
Okay.
Me too. I definitely feel like there was a huge value for the money.
Good.
There was just so much seat time and so much, feedback. It was good.
Mhm.
And I don't know if all those guys, that was the first time they saw them for the year of this season, but man, were they yucking it up the whole time. All
they
those
were
guys,
hilarious.
they were all like a bunch of teenagers when they all got together.
That's because they were allowed to go to
The
the racetrack. They weren't
instructors,
told to stay home.
these were the instructors and the guys running it. It's like they kept like cracking jokes that everybody's learning what they were instructing and what they were teaching. They kept busting up on each other, and I got to tell you, they were. I think one of them referred to the Miatas as flies
Mm-hmm.
that were just buzzing around, and I'm like, they just kept busting on the Miatas. Now I understand why that Gary had mentioned that. Oh yeah, you're going to get the side eye. Now I know.
Hmm?
I'm like, you guys are really making me question my life choices. I told them.
I'm going to take my Duracell and go home.
That's right. They were very funny. They were all very funny and very loose with the whole thing.
Excellent.
Which was really cool because that made it fun too, that they were clearly just having a good time themselves.
Mhm. They were.
So how many students?
22.
How many instructors, roughly?
Half
Oh.
that. Probably
Yeah,
half
it
that
was-
equal. There was a lot of instructors.
Okay. So
And-
good ratio.
Yeah, they had one in-car instructor for 2 students, and then they had double instructors going around the track as monitors. So they
Okay.
had 2 per spot almost. There was
All right.
that many. There was a lot.
Okay. So not in a negative way. This is going to come out negative, but it's not intended in any way. Were the on-track instructors there to torment the students like we do in NASA Great Lakes, or were they a little more sedate?
They were kind of sedate. They weren't they were there to mix things up for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know one would intentionally box me and see what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely for learning not to so much mess with us to
Okay.
make our lives extremely hard, but they were definitely making themselves visible at the same time.
Yeah, they
Okay.
wanted to test us. They wanted to see what we would do.
That's good.
Testing our
'cause
reactions.
that's what you want. You want to be prepared.
Hmm.
Because in Great Lakes we'll have what we call flyers, which are ridiculously fast drivers in ridiculously fast cars, and they will pass you tremendous amounts of speed very close to you. And then we'll have other people who are driving a little more poorly or unpredictable. And then we'll have other drivers who are perhaps pushing you in terms of proximity or in terms of the amount of track they will leave you. They won't screw you to death, but 0.9 of a car width is plenty. So,
I would have to say that's where NASA Great Lakes excels.
Mhm.
for sure is uh, that they, by the time you finish up and out of NASA Great Lakes, you are thoroughly prepared.
Yeah, there's very
to-
little you haven't seen.
Right.
I think so too. So I think this could be the longest commercial we've had for NASA Great Lakes in a while.
Mm,
But SCCA, if you're interested, a very good organization. It's one of the two big four-letter nationwide. One of the difference between SCCA and NASA is SCCA will let you do open wheel race cars.
but I also think the SEC license opens more doors for you in racing.
It does. It's recognized by more international.
But
Uh,
you're able to race more with this group, because if you don't have an SCCA membership or license, you're not able to race with them, if I have that correct.
Yeah, but there's some reciprocity between SCCA and NASA, and then
Right.
you've got all the marked places like the Porsche Club and the BMW Club and blah 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 blah. So, but I think the two bigger ones are SCCA and NASA. So I think the only thing I have left, ladies, when's your next race with the SCCA?
I don't know yet. Right now,
Am I allowed to go? Can I bring my little B-spec
yes.
car? Can I bring my E46? Can I come play too, or am I going to get sent home again?
I don't know. You can come.
Okay,
May
thank you.
11th?
May 11th.
May
Ooh,
11th.
Oh, I don't know. It was Mother's Day weekend.
Oh,
it's pretty close. May 11th. Where is it at May 11th?
Palmer?
Palmer. We haven't done Palmer, Miss Vicki.
Mm-mm. Have not. But we have Mother's Day stuff coming.
Hmm.
But we'll definitely get it all worked out.
Oh, we should actually mention too, this school was put on by the North Atlantic Region Race School. So they're affiliated and approved by SCCA, and they did it in conjunction with them, but it was a separate organization that put this on.
Is that why there wasn't a Saturday and a Sunday part to this?
I'm not sure.
I think they had other events that were going on through other groups.
They did.
But they were linked, but run by. I believe that they were linked.
It's at least when I looked these up in the past and with NASA, usually it's race school Friday and then race day Saturday, race day Sunday, and you can get like a couple races under your belt on the same weekend. And that wasn't here this time, but it's okay. All right, 10 out of 10, highly recommend, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to complain about how stiff your arms are some more, or are we pretty much done here?
My hands are still a little sore, but it's okay. I wasn't sure if it was me just trying to recover, but man, Audra, I'm glad you spoke up.
No, I've been a little tired. I'm sure it didn't help that we did,
Back to back.
practice hot pits with our guest drivers for the next Lemons race, and
Yeah.
I worked on Sunday. Like, it's been nonstop. I think I need a day off.
I tell you, I'm still trying to get to the hangar so I can get the top of this engine off, and I'm hoping I can get there tomorrow, but
There's no hope, just do.
Crawling. It's crawling from point A to point B at this point. So
You
I
did
have
look
to.
pitiful this morning.
It was bad. It was rough.
She
So
wasn't
yeah,
quite curled up into a ball, but she wasn't far away.
no. Well,
It's a lot. But it was good. I don't regret it at all.
no, it's worth the drive.
Yeah.
Indeed.
They did a great job. They did a great job.
Mm-hmm. So scca.org or motorsports.reg, and you too can come out and come racing.
That's right.
Yeah,
You know what?
Bill, I think it's actually scca.com.
Oh, that's right. They're calm. That's right.
Yeah.
There.
Sorry.
No worries. I knew it was something. It's something. I'm sure it'll come up if you Google foo it. You know what, ladies? This is the first ever episode with all the hosts having a racing license. What about the rest of those stragglers who host this podcast? I think we're going to have to, They're going to have to raise their game, get some racing licenses.
Ah, it's a big accomplishment. I'm really proud.
Hmm.
I'm happy. I'm happy. It's kind of shocks me that this is where we're at with it.
Yeah, past Vicki
That
would not have thought this was possible.
yeah,
I never thought I'd be doing things like this.
I
It's
didn't
kind of
either.
shocking to me, and it was, and I didn't know how fun it was going to be. Like, I'm having so much fun.
Right? Right? And it's not just the racing or the adrenaline rush. It's the community.
Mm.
And, I might not have like neighbors next door that I'm buddying up with, but I have friends like all across the United States
Mhm.
that I see regularly. At one point, like if I want to go, hey, I want to go race on the West Coast or, down in the South, I got people. And they genuinely care about us, which is pretty cool.
It
It's
is.
nice.
People are
Sounds like
pretty
we need a
awesome.
travel race.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
have plans. We have plans.
it's good.
That's true. All right, ladies, congratulations. Job well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's have a
We're
little
gonna
more
have-
energy with that than you
Yeah,
guys fall
we're
asleep
still
over
that
here.
tired.
Come
No,
on, people.
it's good
Pump it
having a
up.
girl. It's good having a girl pack.
Okay.
Again, it's just a different dynamic, but it's really energizing at the same time.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Mhm.
The endurance racing series is not over. We could do the ladies race.
Yeah, gotta get our car working.
Got to get you off the sofa.
Yeah, you're right. I got one foot. I got one foot on the floor.
That's right.
I'm getting there.
You're not ready to hit the clutch, though.
No, I'm not. Not today.
No, we'll get there. It'll be fun.
Yep, we are. We are. We'll do
All right.
good.
Absolutely. Well, job well done. Never had a doubt that either one of you could do it or should do it. Hopefully you realize how good of a race driver you guys are now and don't doubt yourself so much and get a little more confidence because it's deserved.
Mhm. Thanks. Right?
I would say good night, but maybe if I say good night, you're going to start snoring. So how about goodbye? Are we done?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies, a little less energy, please. Tone it down.
I'm telling you, still recovering. I went at prom dress shopping with Mia right after.